Good morning, everybody. We're here for a little close-up, and today we're starting in, of all places, the master bedroom, aka the spa. I know we don't get to see this very often. In fact, since we moved to this one, I'm not sure if we've done any. Well, no, we've probably done some close-ups in here, and for sure micros, lots of them. But anyway, here we are. This is Wellington's, one of the two smallest kittens in the house. And he is inside what is affectionately known as the People-mobile. Ignore the toilet paper there. That's what I'm using to help them poop, actually. So he's just hanging out in here right now. He had a sick day yesterday. He was not feeling good at all. But I think as of about 5 a.m. this morning, he's starting to get over it a little bit. He still hasn't eaten very much, but that's okay. We're taking it easy on his sick little tummy. So the good news is, though, that he wants to eat. He was very insistent, and that he hasn't vomited anything since, I don't know, about midnight or whatever it says on the weight chart. So all good. And we're actually waiting right now. He just had his first solid food, I don't know, like an hour ago now. And so we're waiting to make sure that he's not going to, I say solid food, it's milk, whatever. Not exactly solid, but you get the idea, all right? My point is that he seems like he's feeling a little better right now. And he might even come out here to see us if he hadn't just crawled in here to take a nap. Meanwhile, his sister, the other smallest kitten, Wellington's, is making some actual progress right now. Here she is. She's just now, for the first time, found her way off the bed. She hasn't gone very far, of course. We have these stairs here for the kittens to use to figure out this very lesson. And she's made it to the first step. That's one small step for a kitten. No, that's one giant step for a kitten. Yeah, actually, that's a big deal. So, well done there. That is Squall. And I think she also got the same sick that he had because her poops were a little bad, but she just seems like she's got the best immune system. She didn't really get sick when all the family was sick the first time either. She still had some of the same bad poops, but that was it. So she is way ahead of him weight-wise, and now even further, we've increased the gap a little bit. I think today she's going to find her way off the bed. I would already have them back in my office this morning, but I want to stay here and keep a close eye on our little boy and know for sure if he is going to be sick again this morning. And if not, I want to, sit here and feed him and that kind of stuff. So that's our plan. Anyway, she's being super playful. She has been so desperate for somebody to play with, probably the last 24 hours or so. Like, she's really getting big into play mode. And thank goodness, most of the big kittens come by to see them. No, let me try again. Spork. Spork virtually lives in this carrier when she gets a chance. Spork is in here all the time. She was already stuffed in here. Oh, somebody's in there right now. Is that Spork again? Or is this one not Spork? I can't even tell. Yeah, no, that's Spork again, isn't it? Yeah. Okay, just confirming. Yes. Okay. So that is Spork, and that's great when I say something on the chat and then the cat actually proves that I'm not making it up. That's the best. Spork loves these kittens and loves hanging out in here, but I think mostly because she is completely addicted to the kitten milk and goes crazy for it. So she just knows where to hang out if she wants to get some. At any rate, she's being really sweet on these kittens, and it's great for them to have the company. So that's little Sporky. Big Spork. Speaking of Spork and her family, who is this? This is not Spork. This is Sprout right here. Everybody's out running around at the moment and able to go wherever they want. They're having a big old exploration time. And this family, by the way, didn't seem to hesitate at all about exploring. Most kittens are a little shy the first time they get to go out the door. They kind of hesitate and look at everything carefully, and they don't know where they're going to go, and maybe they don't go out the door at all the first time it's open. These guys out and running around from the very start, even when we went downstairs for mailbag and brought them to an entirely strange place. When I opened the doors after mailbag this weekend, they all ran out the doors to go explore the first floor. Just no fear, just crazy explorers. So that is little Sprout. You can tell because Sprout's the one that keeps losing her beautiful pink collar. Because it hasn't got a good clasp on it. You just came up and hit my back like, hey, play with me. I'm right here. Pay attention to me. I know you're right there. That doesn't mean I'm going to pay attention to you yet. Find your way down the stairs, and then you'll have lots of kittens to pay attention to you. Yeah. Okay, let's go see who else we can see. I feel like I introduced I'm sorry, I interrupted myself somehow. I just saw someone ask if there's no more unboxing on Saturday. No, we still do that. In fact, we did it this Saturday, 10 o'clock, 10 o'clock KATZ every Saturday, with few exceptions. There was definitely an exception the week that these kids were so sick. But we usually hit it, 10 o'clock. And if we don't, there's a message on the screen. We do news on the regular Kitten Academy live stream. There's a news scroll that goes across the bottom of the screen every 15 minutes on the 15s. So, at the hour, at 15 after the hour, 30 after the hour, 45 after. And if there's nothing at that exact time, then there's no news. But we always, thanks to Pat, we always either announce, please join us for mailbag, or if there's not going to be a mailbag, we definitely announce that there won't be. So that's the way to find out if there's going to be a 10 o'clock mailbag on Saturday morning. There was this Saturday. Now, the reason you're asking might be that we're so far behind uploading those. You have to watch them live if you want to see them right now. But I am way behind on getting them uploaded. That's been an ongoing project. So, eventually, in due time is what we like to say. That big kitten that we were watching that looks sort of like a clone of the little kitten we were watching, this one, that is Goblet. And that reminds me, that is what I interrupted myself saying, is that we have adopters for the older kittens now, all except for Teaspoon have their official adopters. I can't give you all the details now because I just sort of spontaneously started this close-up and I am completely unprepared. But I can tell you that Goblet and Ramekin are going together, just like you would expect. After that, I'm going to get confused. I don't want to say the wrong thing, so I'm not going to say what the other pairs are. I would get those incorrect. But I can tell you, I think I can tell you that the earliest of those adoptions is going to be on the 6th. So everybody will be here at least until the 6th, and then I think some of the other adoptions are going to be sort of even later than that. So nobody's getting picked up right away, and I'm happy about that. I think that's the case. I think there's also one that's still officially to be scheduled, so for all I know, they could hit me up and be like, we're going to be there tomorrow. I really have to check, though. I've taken care of these kittens being a little sick last night. I haven't got my sleep once again. Hardly know what I'm doing. So I'll get it all sorted out in due time. So here we are in Serenity's room. This is Serenity right here. This is the room that she's been living in. Sometimes we call this the second annex. And you can see she's got a lot of visitors this morning. She loves these little kittens to visit her, all of them. She's made pretty good friends with both classes, although Goblet, that's Goblet there heading into the other room. Goblet is not the biggest fan of meeting new kittens and still is not quite getting along with everybody. The fact that she's even in here at all, though, is showing some progress. I don't think it'll take her long to come around. Ramekin is in probably second place like that. They really take after each other, and I think it's maybe even more proof to the fact that the DJ's been saying all along. She thinks Ramekin and Goblet had the same dad, and that Teaspoon and Spork had the same dad, and Spatula is like a toss-up. It could have gone either way. But she might be right. I think we keep finding reasons to believe that. At the very least, they certainly seem to classify themselves that way. That's Spatula right here, by the way, having a swing on the curtain. Oh, thank you, Megalina. Nibbles and Spatula are the two that are going together, and then Spork is going alone, but Spork is going to a former adopter. So that is going to be fun, and we'll get to meet some older KA kittens. So that's going to be for Sporky. I would, if you see Megalina say anything about Kitten Academy in the YouTube chat here, I would always believe what she has to say, because she knows Kitten Academy better than I do, and always has, actually. She's always been sort of the unofficial official record keeper, and I think maintains the wiki, and just knows everything all the time. So whenever she says something, you can definitely trust that to be true. So there is, like I said, that's Spatula having a sniff of my coffee. Don't drink any. You really don't need that. You just came over and tapped me and then you walked away again. This is Raindrop from the medium class. There we go. I've been calling them the little class, the medium class, and the big class. Of course, that's not going to last once the big class gets stopped. Did you just see Goblet hiss there and hear it maybe at Spatula? Now, the cool thing is Spatula doesn't take any of it personally. They're just setting their boundaries. But Goblet is setting boundaries. He, just like his mom, she, just like her mom, wants to hiss at everybody so that they know, that she's not to be trifled with. And then once they get that lesson about not messing with her, she can end up being friends with everybody, just like her mom is. Her mom now started out that way, hissed at everybody all the time, and then once she got to be reassured that they weren't going to mess with her, they're allowed to come around and, sort of play with her and hang out and all the stuff, and she never gets too upset. And Goblet's the same way, and most good cats that are meeting other cats for the first time are the same way to varying degrees. Now, there's some exceptions, of course, there's some cats that'll just be instant friends with anybody and run right up to them, and that actually can cause trouble. If the other cat doesn't expect that sort of interaction, to have another cat come up with no caution and no hissing and no setting boundaries whatsoever can be off-putting. So this is, in my opinion, sort of the ideal way for new cats that are meeting each other to behave, where they start out with, hisses and keeping their distance and being respectful. And if anybody gets too close, they hiss at them and they each back off or they show deference to that. And that's how they establish, without having a real language, to use. That's how they establish with each other that, okay, I'm not going to mess with you. Don't mess with me. And over time, that becomes, hey, we're friends, and so that's a great way for that behavior to be. Now, normally, Serenity likes to get up and play with these kittens quite a bit. She might be having a little bit of a slow morning, or maybe the timing's not quite right, or maybe she's just waiting for her opportunity to pounce. She was playing with them a few minutes ago, I saw, but she's sort of taking a breather here, and that's fine. You can see her eyes still a little bit goopy, and we've had ongoing issues with her poops not being great. And what we've seen now twice is when we switch her to the venison-based food that does not have any chicken or fish proteins in it whatsoever, her poops initially get better. See, Goblet, now come on, that's uncalled for. She's not trying to mess with you. Okay, that was me. That was me messing with you. Anyway, I was saying when we switch her to the venison-based food, her poops initially get better, but then they sort of have reverted twice now when we've switched her to that food, sort of reverted to being diarrhea again. So I'm sort of mystified about why they would get better right away both times and then get worse when we're very careful to make sure she's not eating anything else. But all I've got as a theory is, well, maybe we're on the right track, but venison is not the right thing. So this week I ordered some rabbit for her to try, and we'll see about that. All I can say is that if we put her on either the New Low or the Fancy Feast, she gets very bad poops, where even at the worst on the venison, they're not quite that bad. And that we've tried and eliminated basically everything else that could possibly be a cause. We've given her every kind of dewormer, every kind of antibiotic. And she seems like she's not too put out by it. So whatever it is, probably not causing her major distress. But we'd like to get it solved. And so that's why we're trying all the various foods. And we've tried so many. We've tried hydrolyzed proteins, and we've tried the gastrointestinal diets. And now we are on to the specialty proteins like venison and rabbit that cats try. So that's what we're doing. And as far as the weepy eye goes, well, that's probably, I don't know, just a herpes outbreak or something. I'm not too concerned about it. It's unusual that it's lasted so long for her, but doesn't seem to bother her at all. And in fact, Teaspoon has the same thing going on. If you watch his eyes carefully, you'll see that they've been sort of weepy and crusty his entire life, and nothing we've done so far has resolved it. Not that it's any big deal. He doesn't seem too put out by it. I like Joe Filet Mignon. Yes, okay. No, we haven't tried anything that is only duck yet. Dana, I saw you ask that. We did try something that had duck in it, but that doesn't help if it's also got chicken and fish stuff in it. You really have to either buy a food that is really, marketed as a specialty food and is true to it, or read those ingredients super carefully to be sure that you're not just getting something that is the same thing that they're allergic to plus duck. You know what I mean? So far we haven't tried anything that is strictly duck. But that would be another good choice. You're right, to try a duck. Like I said, we're on rabbit this week, and if rabbit doesn't work, well, it might be rabbit season, duck season. So we'll fight that out, and we'll see. Things to try anyway. So, what else can I tell you? I can tell you I saw something in the chat, and I haven't had a chance to read the chat this morning, but I saw something on Discord that suggested that someone saw someone pee on something in the room that wasn't Brawley peeing. But I don't know for sure that it was pee, because they didn't say that exactly. They said had an accident, so I don't know what that means for sure. And they also didn't say where, so I couldn't go check on it. So I don't know what happened there. But all I'm saying is that maybe she was framed. Maybe whoever has been peeing on things in the room that aren't the litter box wasn't Brawley the whole time. Whatever it is, I hope whoever it is can get over it and we can have entirely good litter box use, because then these kids will get even more freedom to play and more toys in their room. I've been waiting to put like some, big beds and some big cat trees and stuff in their room, because my concern is if I do, they're just going to get peed on, and some of those things are very difficult to clean. So, of course, we have to assume that anything that we put in there will need cleaning at some point, but I don't want to put something in when we just know it's going to need it immediately and repeatedly. That's not fun for me. So that's what we're waiting on anyhow. So this is little Brawley. Isn't she having fun? You shouldn't play with my fingers, though. Play with this instead. She's like, I don't want to play with that. Your fingers are way more fun. There we go. Try that. Okay. There, that's more appropriate. So that's Brawley from the medium class. This one is, can I tell without seeing the collar? I can't. I don't even think it has a collar, though, which would make it Sprout. And Brawley. And Serenity, living up to her name all day, every day. She does get very playful. She's one of those cats that's set to get playful, especially at like 4 a.m., which she mostly then does on her own. We've got, let's see, this is Spatula. And let's see who's next door. I can't fit through the little cat door, so we'll just go around. Oh, wow, here's everybody in the hallway. How many cats can you see there? I see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 in the frame. Oh, that's a lot of kittens. Okay, so there's Spork has come out from hanging out with the kittens, decided that this was more fun if there's no milk forthcoming. He just ran off with Goblet. Spatula's moved over to here, but nobody else in their real room. Here's Ramekin. Ramekin, we were talking about you earlier. Ramekin is such a soft, big, soft kitty. I just love to pet her. I discovered something fun about Ramekin yesterday. Oh, this is Bud. I was wondering where you were, Bud. Come on, pal. So, let's see. What was I going to say about Ramekin? I was going to say that yesterday I was walking back and forth up here all the way from one end of the house where my office is to the other end of the house where the bedroom was. And I walked back and forth. I was picking stuff up and dropping stuff off and forgetting something and going back, and probably almost a dozen times in a row. And it was because of that I discovered Ramekin was following me around, which I didn't think that she did. But she would do it real stealthily, like when you're in a video game and you've got to stealthily follow somebody without them seeing you. You got to not get too close, and every time they turn around, you got to hide real quick. But she for sure, every time I would go from one end of the house to the other, would follow me from one end of the house to the other. So it wasn't just a coincidence, like if I went once, or even if I went back and forth, I would think, well, she just happened to be going the same way. But now she was following me around, so I thought, okay, let's give her some chicken. Maybe she just is really hungry. And so I gave her some chicken, and she just didn't even care about it. So I picked her up and started petting her, and she let me do that for quite a while, which, for her is a good 30 seconds or a minute before I stop for half a second. She's like, I'm out. But it was a revelation, not revolution. It was a revelation to me that, she's a little bit more interested in hanging around and being petted and being sweet than I would have guessed. She's just a lot more sort of subtle and secretive about that. So, interesting thing. And it's good, too, because she, like I said, is just so soft and wonderful to pet on. All right. I think there's a couple of the medium kittens that we haven't really seen, but this is Raindrop again. The one I think we haven't seen is Drizzle. Oh, there you are. Perfect timing. Drizzle with the purple collar. Hi, Drizzle. I don't think we've seen you yet today, have we? Maybe I should get little close-ups of each of their faces so that we can have a look at how they're doing progress-wise. So that's little Drizzle. Hi, Drizzle. Okay. Oh, they're about to start to try play with Serenity. And I saw Serenity was up starting to play before I came back in. I think she's shy about me. And I know I've mentioned before how she behaves. All right, this is Raindrop. Raindrop, look at me for a minute. Hi. Oh, you're really doing a bad job of looking at me, though. Okay. Raindrop. Hi, bro. You heard me make the kissy noise and you got up and came over? You even said, what? What is it? I heard you say that. And they've all got their big eyes on this morning. Oh, good, Bud. I was afraid I would have to dig you out, but here you are. There's Bud this morning. Very floofy Bud. And that, I think, leaves Sprout is the only one that we haven't done then yet, right? There we go from this class anyway. That's little Sprout. So I was talking one more time about Serenity and the fact that when I walked in here, she looked like she was just about to play with the kittens, and then she ran over here and laid down. I think that is because of me and that she's very shy around me. And like I've mentioned before, when I come in the room, the first thing that she wants to do is kind of run off. She doesn't, hide, but she sort of runs away and sits down somewhere, like... I don't even know how to describe it, like she's doing right now, so you can see it. I don't have to describe it. And then if I pick her up and put her in front of her food, she'll start eating, and she's very grateful about it. And if I pick her up and sit down in the beanbag chair and start petting her, oh, she loves that. She'll snuggle, she'll roll on her back so I can rub her belly, and purrs and purrs and purrs, and we'll do that for hours on end. But she will never come to my lap and start that. She just doesn't feel like approaching me is something that she is allowed to do for whatever reason. So we'll keep working on that, but I think that's why when I'm not in the room, she gets up and starts playing with these kittens. And when I am in the room, she's like, I better chill out. We'll take off. We've got some other kittens to see. I know we haven't seen Teaspoon yet, and I don't know who else we haven't seen. So let's go see if we can find them. If I saw Teaspoon's name in the chat, I think maybe you guys are asking how he's doing. And I think I've given updates already in one of the close-ups about his update on his heart, but I don't know if I haven't. It doesn't hurt to give another one. The short story is that he's going to be here for about 4 months, and then we will be able to do a surgery on his heart. It's a very simple surgery where they put a balloon in and puff it up to expand one of his veins in his heart, one of his arteries, I suppose. And I say simple, they don't even, open him up. They go in through a vein, so it's very minimally invasive, and it's very common, and DJ knows all about it in humans, and says that it's great, it's going to help him out a lot, and that it's not a big deal, but we can't do it yet because he's so tiny. The parts that they need to do that are so tiny. So that will have to wait until he's a little bit older and a little bit bigger, and they figure in about 4 months. So the plan is for him to stay here and have that surgery done in about 4 months, and for it to make him all better, and then for him to be adopted out. That is, anyway, the plan. And let's hope it goes that way. Here he is. He came up. Hi, Teaspoon. We were just talking about you. Now, we've had ongoing issues with his poops being the opposite of everybody else's problem. He doesn't have diarrhea. He has the constipation. He gets all filled up with poops, and they don't want to come out. And he'll go and strain at the litter box. Now, some of that can be actually because of his heart condition. It causes fluid buildup, and I'm told that sometimes that can feel to him like he has to poop, and he'll go strain and there's nothing to come out. But I've gotten very good at feeling his colon. Yay me! The things you learn as a kitten foster. So now I can feel a kitten right away and tell if they have poop in them ready to go, or if they don't have poop in them ready to go. And it's a very clear difference for him. You could tell if you felt his colon and it was all soft and squishy, then you would go, okay, it's probably filled with some kind of fluid. And if it's hard, like a rock, and big, then you know, well, he's filled up with solid poops, the constipation. So I know this is dirty talk. I apologize for the dirty talk on our stream, but it's just factual information that you might be interested in. So not only have I gotten very good at feeling for that, I've gotten all too good at giving kittens enemas. The vet actually gave me a little lesson on that too, to make sure I knew how I was doing it, and I'm very good at it. And in fact, yesterday, the reason I'm talking about all this now, yesterday he did need one. He was pretty backed up, and we got that all cleared out, and he's feeling much better today. That's something we're going to have to keep an eye on. But after the last time that we had it completely resolved, I thought, well, maybe he's outgrown it. Let's see what happens if we don't give him his daily stool softeners. And it seems like that was the wrong move. DJ said, all right, we're just going to keep him on those stool softeners forever until further notice. So, we started those up again a couple days ago, actually, before we decided to do the enemas. And we'll just keep that going, and I expect that will mean that his poops are going to be fine. And like I said, then the big deal is his heart stuff. That's going to take about 4 months. And in the meantime, he is on what they call beta blockers, which I've heard from a whole bunch of you that also have the same kind of heart condition, that are also on beta blockers, and you're all very familiar with them. So that's great. But for those of you who aren't, it's basically something that just makes his heart not work quite so hard, so that he doesn't get so much fluid buildup like I was talking about, and he feels better overall. And he's been on that now for several days, so he's getting to the point where he can deal with it, and it doesn't slow him down at all. The first few days, it definitely slowed him down a little bit. But I think he's getting over that, and now he wants to play and everything just like any other kitten. And he can. He's fine with that. So that is Teaspoon. All right. Cool. I think now we've seen everybody. I can't think of any kitten that we didn't see, at least for a second. Now, we haven't seen Nibbles and we haven't seen Puddles. Those are the moms of these the classes, the smalls and the medium, the bigs and the mediums. Wow, easy for me to keep track. So I know exactly where Puddles is. It's a room I don't really want to show you, though, because it's a room that she just gets to stay in for a few minutes at a time while everybody else is out together, because she doesn't get along the best yet.